Hi, and welcome back to Wicked Ones Tarot. My name is Carmen, and today we've got a reading for you about communication from someone that you've had an argument with. And I do feel like there's resentment or anger on both sides. There could be both of you expecting a, kind of apologetic communication from the other. But when you do finally talk to this person, I think that there's an attempt to just kind of brush it under the rug or not make a very sincere apology and just kind of like get it over with and move on without any sincere desire to change the behavior or approach you in a more respectful way. So it feels kind of like kind of feels like a lame excuse for an apology. So maybe I need to get rid of that whole thing. Hold on a second. So whether or not they're able to convince you seems a little bit in question, but I do think that you're going to pick up on the fact that this is somebody who's likely to repeat that same behavior. So let's call in spirit with a little bit of wind chime time. Or a lot. I'm sorry. I hope you're having a good day. It's a lot of wind chime time. If you're interested in a personal reading, I would love to do one for you. My email address is wickedonestarot@gmail.com. It's in the description box, as is more information on how to become a member. Thank you to the current members. Let's start with what's the news and see what happened with this argument. Why are we mad at each other? Ooh. Cards that don't belong here. Sorry, guys. Why are you two fighting? What is going on? Rebound. Oh no. Oh no. Okay. So rebound says flighty, temporary option, unpredictable intentions. And we have karmics, third parties, haters, lesson learned, and machismo, masculine pride, toxic masculinity, and meeting manly expectations. So there's some mindset here that seems to be focused on whatever I want is what I'm going to do. I don't really care if it bothers you or if it upsets you. Someone who could say one thing and then the next minute they're doing the opposite. I think the thing that resonates the least is lesson learned, although that could be your perspective with regards to whether or not you want to be friends with them. But I do think hater is appropriate. We have high vibing, good vibes, living to the fullest, enjoying the present, and lipstick evidence, betrayal, infidelity, caught cheating. So this would be someone from your past who wants to get over an argument where there was a third party or some question as to whether or not you could trust this person. That could be because you were close friends or because you were dating, but there is some question here as to whether or not the intentions are good or you could actually, expect them to have your back. This is somebody who's just a little bit horny all the time, you guys. Maybe that's not abnormal, but like this is someone who puts their physical needs above any desire to be a good friend or consider other people's feelings. So they may have lost several friends because of their pursuits romantically. I don't know if it's really about romance so much as like, the physical side of things. But I do think they have had a history of this. And if they apologize, it's kind of flippant. It's not really serious. This is the Santa Muerte. Hey, what's up, Reinhardt? How are you doing? I hope you're having a good day. What else do we have? The Chariot in the reverse. 5 of Pentacles in the reverse, and the Ace of Cups in the reverse. This is someone who pretty routinely has disappointed or betrayed friends or romantic partners. They just really kind of think about themselves. So they've run into a lot of dead ends or had a lot of breakups or ends of friendships because of their behavior, because of their choices. Page of Pentacles, Knight of Wands. The Fool in the reverse. They can't help themselves. They don't have self-control. They're just like, I don't know, that looks like a good time, so I'm going to do it. Are there consequences? Maybe, but who cares? I guess the universe is saying you're going to learn to care because people don't like when you do that. People don't appreciate that. They're starting to realize that maybe the choices they have available to them are becoming more limited because they are not trustworthy. 7 of Cups. Oh, sorry. 9 of Cups and the Emperor. My way or the highway, or whatever I say goes. This is what I want. If it's not what you think I should want, whatever, I don't care. You think that's the side? It very well could be. I hope it's not. Is it? Nope. That's not the reason why it's doing that. Are there any allergies? Hello, Mamie. How are you doing? I hope you're having a good day. What else do we have? We have the Lovers and the Devil in the reverse with the Ace of Pentacles in the reverse. A choice between, I think, being a good friend or a reliable partner, a loyal person, or giving in to temptation. When they are talked to about making changes or changing how they approach the connection, it feels like it's kind of underwhelming. Yeah, I know I could potentially lose this, but what if I miss out on something that I really want? They think about themselves. Hello, Jalissa. How are you doing? Oh, you're so sweet. I hope it's a good day for you. What do we need? I think we need the Golden Art Nouveau. What else do we have? Devil in the reverse, Judgment, and the Two of Cups. So I think whoever I'm reading for, you're looking at this connection, be it platonic or romantic, and you're thinking, I think I've had enough. I think I realize now that this is just always going to be problematic, or trust is one of those things that I require before I want to be a friend or in a relationship with someone. Yes, Jalissa, this is when I use my laptop. I used to do all my live streams this way, but the mobile is a little bit more reliable in terms of internet, interestingly enough. Hello, Carrie. How are you doing? Me too. So we've got the Three of Swords in the reverse, Strength, and the Queen of Swords. Two of Wands in the reverse. I think I'm strong enough to keep moving forward without this connection. I don't think I really want to get mixed up with somebody who doesn't want to apologize in a respectful and genuine way. Maybe the best thing is for me to just have some boundaries and not reconnect with you. If you're intent on causing more chaos, then you can do it elsewhere. Four of Swords, Nine of Swords in the reverse, and the Six of Wands in the reverse. This person is going to struggle when you decide you're good. When you leave them on red or you communicate that you're not interested in another conversation or moving forward, they view it as a failure and like a criticism of them. So they could have kind of an overly emotional response, or they could get quite angry. We have the Nine of Pentacles and the Queen of Cups. They expected you to welcome them with like very excited enthusiasm. Like, oh, goody, we can get back to being besties, or we can, continue the love affair or the relationship. But instead, what they find is someone who's uninterested, someone who's like, I don't know. I don't think so. I think you've just matured to the point where you realize that your time is valuable. And if you spend it dealing with people that you cannot trust, you end up being shortchanged in terms of what energy you have to invest in what you want and who you are. This is the sign of the times, or signs of the times. Enlightenment, lotus flower, number 27, and number 42, tree ancestry. There could be someone within your family who is helping you understand what the right path forward is. There could be somebody who has some interesting dreams about a person who has passed away, probably from your family. But I do think that there is an appreciation for the peace and serenity that you have in your life, or whatever you're able to maintain, and not wanting someone to just kind of waltz right back in and cause some drama. You know that there is a lot that you could achieve. There's a lot that you are meant to do. So don't let anybody distract you. This person would inevitably make it more difficult for you to achieve what you're trying to. So I think it's a good choice to just be kind of like, maybe not never, but not right now. They've got to actually work on the problematic or toxic behavior that caused the argument to begin with. I hope it gets better for you, Mamie. This is the Fairy Godmother Oracle. Discernment. Authority. And victimhood. You may be dealing with someone who likes to twist the story to make it seem like you're overreacting, or they cause a problem and then the way that you handle it is so rude and unnecessary. But they minimize what they do. They don't want to admit that there are better ways for them to approach social interactions or the connection with you. This is the Soul Cat Tarot. What else do we have? Awesome. We have the Eight of Pentacles, the Queen of Swords, and the King of Wands. So I feel whoever I'm reading for, you're going to realize that there are things that are more important to you than trying to resuscitate a connection with a person that doesn't seem to be interested in doing right by you, compromising, or accountability. It's like, yeah, I understand the concept, just not how it applies to me. They have to be able to hold themselves accountable, or at least understand when somebody else does. And so your focus right now seems to be elsewhere. You're just kind of like, I don't think I really need that in my life. Thanks, but no thanks. We have the Six of Pentacles, the Four of Pentacles in reverse, the Wheel, and the Six of Swords. So if you were able to offer a friendship that was closer to what it is that I offer you, then maybe we could talk. If you were interested in a relationship where, we're partners in crime, we work together, then maybe we could have a conversation about this. But I think it's better for me to let this go, because you seem to only distract me from what's important in my priorities. I want to improve what's going on in my life, not get caught up in mindless drama. So the Six of Swords says you're moving on. You're ready for different, attitudes, energies, individuals. You don't want to keep dealing with the same mess. Three of Pentacles, 10 of Wands, and the Page of Wands in the reverse. They're going to lose their temper. They feel like what you decide could be something that other people decide. So if you decide not to be my friend, or if you decide you're not interested in seeing me anymore, then what if that influences other people? Almost like they're really concerned here about the influence you could have on their reputation, more so than the actual connection that they have with you. We have the Moon, somebody who likes to be secretive, somebody who doesn't really want everybody to know what's going on, or maybe anybody to know what's going on, and someone who refuses to see the other person's perspective. Yeah, you've known them for a while, or you maybe had some good memories with them, but I think whoever I'm reading for, you're looking at this and you're like, maybe that's kind of run its course. I don't know if I can really justify continuing to invest in that. All right. This is the Kipper. What else do we have, please? Ooh, well, I hope that that's what happens today then. All right, what else do we have? We have High Honor and Poverty in the reverse. Sometimes when you end a friendship or a relationship and choose to focus on what is more important to you, you will see that there's an impact to your money that doesn't really make sense. One time I randomly got a check for several $100s that I had no anticipation of, and it came within like an hour and a half of my ending a friendship. Now, are the two connected in real life? No. Could there be a tie spiritually? Yeah, because I do feel like the more you take care of yourself, the more the universe takes care of you as well. So this is saying there's an ending, a breakup, or a friendship that is no longer going to happen. And that energy that you reclaim, it's reinvested in you and in what you're working to accomplish. So totally worth it, right? I know, aren't they? Ah, maybe that's the decision then. You'll have to keep me updated. This is the situations deck. We've got somebody who has been struggling a bit with finances. I feel like this is the person from your past. They have this conviction that the two of you are soulmates, whether that's platonic soulmates or destined to be in a relationship. This is somebody who's a drama queen. Not surprised to see that card at all. They're making things more difficult for themselves than they need to be, in part because their expectations and the tendency towards being self-absorbed make it really difficult for them to understand how to be a good friend or a good partner. So even though, like I said, there may be good memories here with this person, sometimes we struggle with friendships or relationships when one person is working to mature and have that spiritual growth or personal growth, and the other person's just like, I'm the same way I was 12 years ago. What's wrong with that? Well, some people want to have a little bit of evolution within their life. Some people want to work on things that require a new perspective or some experience. Hello, Michael. How are you doing? We have receipts. So when you can tell that this person is not interested in doing right by the apology, when this is quite obviously someone who's willing to do the same thing that they're apologizing for, I think it's an easy decision for you to focus your time elsewhere and not feel too guilty about losing a friendship with somebody who seems to just think about themselves all the time. I'm doing well. Thank you, Michael. What else? We have number 35, which is the anchor, and number 32, which is the moon. Number 12, the owls. There's definitely some not so positive rumors or some gossip that's being spread regarding the untrustworthy person. I would say I should probably have been calling them, I think I have reference to them as the emperor. But the person who has boundaries probably you, would be this Queen of Swords energy, King of Wands. This is why we don't pay too close attention to the gender. You've come through as a King of Wands and a Queen of Swords. This is talking about your willingness to have boundaries, communicate those boundaries, and move on and pursue something different, or invest your time in a pursuit like a project or education, starting your own business, because that's more likely to pay off, because that's more likely to be a good investment. So there are people that have been spreading maybe truths, maybe half-truths, but talking about this Emperor, this person who feels like they can come back around and hang out with you. So it's like known that they're a bit toxic, right? So with the dog, the whip, and the tree, yeah. I know if I'm loyal to you, or if I am, again, trying to trust you as a friend or as somebody that I'm dating, that it will come back to bite me. It will be something that I will regret, because I have the intuition now to see and the discernment to know that you haven't really been working on the things that caused you to be a bad friend or a bad partner. Hello, Rochelle. How are you doing? Short and sweet, right? That title just kind of seemed like the right choice. So they're thinking about what they could do to reestablish this connection with, like, they want a clearance on it, right? They want a bargain on it. They don't want to do the work that is actually required, but that devalues what you know your time is worth. I don't think they expect you to actually like have the cojones to block them or to no longer talk to them. They may be just a little bit delusional, though. They may feel like people are more into them than they really are. Because if this is someone who's self-absorbed, you already know that there's a little bit of an ego problem, right? This is the Cook's Tarot. Ace of Swords in the reverse. You can tell that this person is not genuine in their apology. Their communication does not hit the mark. Some of you are okay with just not responding or feeling like that's just like old, I don't know, old you. It's the past. Not interested in that. Nine of Swords in the reverse. It doesn't seem to bother you, but you don't really want to allow there to be more time or space or energy with this person. You're too busy creating. You're too busy making a new life for yourself, or doing things that make you happy, instead of having to explain how somebody could have been an adult in a situation. Knight of Wands, Seven of Wands in the reverse. So I think you straight up look at this person, you feel like their apology is weak. You look at them and you think, this is like a waste of my time. I want friends. I want to be connected to people, but I'm not going to be desperate enough to accept friends that will, be backstabbing and cool with it, or relationships with people who only think about themselves. So may not like the decision, but that's the decision. I do feel like they get mad, but you don't have to really care. You don't have to engage. You don't have to explain. You can just say no, like it's a whole sentence. No, period. Real easy to understand for most, not for everyone. All right, this is the untold messages of the heart. What else do we have? Forbidden, even though we shouldn't, I still want you. Stubborn, and then 4 dots, like they're trying to text or send you a message, but I don't know. And karma, my life is falling apart and I'm struggling. Energy, you've been thinking about me because I've been thinking about you. We're connecting. I think this person's manipulative. I think they try to focus on certain things, like saying certain things, that they feel people will respond to, but they don't actually feel that way, or they don't have any intention of following through on that. I know I've acted childishly. I don't know how to approach you now. The damage has already been done, and I don't know how to pick the pieces up. They feel a bit overwhelmed, but I think it's also indicative of somebody who doesn't really know how to go the distance or do what's right, even if it's a little bit uncomfortable or disruptive. They're hoping they can just kind of leave things a little bit unsaid or unaddressed and just kind of pretend that the argument never happened or the falling out never happened. Don't give up on me yet. I'm scared to lose you. I didn't know what I had until you were gone. Lesson learned. They keep trying to say that the lesson is learned, and yet we have multiple references here to a person that is trying to get like an easy out and not have to actually change their behavior. So they may even tell you like verbatim, like, I learned my lesson. And you're sitting here like, did you? Are you sure about that? Hello, Darnell. How are you doing? I don't think you're as easy to fool as they were hoping you would be. I don't think you're interested in lies, and I think your BS meter is pretty accurate. So even if you do give them an opportunity to talk to you about this, it doesn't look like it goes well for them because they can't resist embellishing or exaggerating or kind of like minimizing the problem. We have indecision. Number 8. Some of you may feel guilty about this. You may feel like you're overreacting. You may be letting their words get to you. You know that you deserve to be appreciated for the energy that you offer. No one's perfect, but there are definitely people out there who are thankful, very thankful that you are in their life. And if this person wants to be in your life, then they need to address this envy or this problem they have when it comes to appreciating who you are and what you bring to their life. It seems like they're more interested in finding ways to get you to do what they want, and they underestimated your ability to be happy on your own or move on from them. Hello, daughter of Saturn. How are you doing? I hope you're having a good day. All right, I'm going to pull a few from the Zodiac fortune telling cards, and then I'll call it a day. What else? We have a letter that you will receive. Act on it at once. So no delays, please. Heartaches and troubles before real success. This could be one of the things that happens that helps to solidify that new chapter for you, some abundance or financial windfall, an improved social group or work situation, because you've got a lot of good karma built up. It says always doing for others without reward. So you've got a reputation for being reliable and compassionate or helpful. And this other person was hoping to take advantage of it. And whoever you are, King of Wands, Queen of Swords, you're like, no, I think there's more that I could do elsewhere. And you're like not getting the picture, I guess. You will overcome your domestic troubles. So have a positive mindset regarding this. Remember that you deserve to be respected, loved, all of that. And that you don't have to pretend to be something else, right? Okay, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you, everyone, for the likes and the subscribes. If you're able to hype my video within the first 7 days, I love you for it. And I'll see you on the next reading. Toodles.